Are you ready to rock and roll, baby?
Justin, what a wonderful depiction of the Olympics. This is now, there are many sides to Justin that we have talked about. This was
Mhm.
sporty Justin.
Yes.
Sporty Justin with a little bit of gay flair.
Yes. Which we're starting to see more of at the Olympics. Girl, there's 151 out Olympic athletes
Now,
this
how
year
do you know that? Where did you
because
get
I just read it on Instagram.
that?
Isn't that amazing? And two have already won medals. Tom Daly and
Yeah.
fencing, I think. Somebody in fencing.
Oh,
But yes, I do have a sporty side. I grew up playing almost every sport. And so it actually is quite near and dear to my heart, but I eventually had to choose and I chose to do performing and acting and
yeah.
all the other stuff. But the Olympics come around and I just light up and I mean, you could tell I was pretty excited.
That was pretty cool. And I knew when I saw that we have to highlight that in our life stuff.
Yes.
So, what did you think of the opening ceremony?
Okay, so just my I loved it. I loved it. I loved everything about it. I know that it was different than it's ever been done. And it was raining, and there were things that, were a little bit chaotic. But I just love when somebody goes for it. And like they had no rehearsals in real time, like consecutively, like individual rehearsals. Yes, like there was a little clip somebody posted of like Lady Gaga on the steps, like preparing. But it's not like a stadium where you can have closed door. Let's do a rehearsal of the whole entire thing to make sure it's ready to rock and
Mhm.
roll. No, they could only rehearse on their own and then day of. It's almost like the Olympics to me.
Yeah.
You practice, you practice, you practice, but when you get to that actual Olympic swimming pool, gym, stadium, it's going to be different. And not everything went perfect, but good God, considering the weather was what it was almost more iconic that they were all just soaked in the rain and the boats coming in with the athletes. I mean, I have so many highlights. I don't know. I want to, before I say my highlights, I want to know what you thought because I could go on.
Well, I think it was the best ever. I just thought it was so artistic and so French
Yes.
and so representative of France and its history. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean the creativeness of it, like that building that had all the things with Marie Antoinette's head cut off
The
and the
heavy metal mixed with
heavy
fucking.
metal and of course there's always controversy and there's always
Yes.
the Christians who are complaining about the depiction of the Last Supper and how
Oh,
they did it
good
with drag queens.
Lord.
Like, oh, come
Go
on.
choke on your red wine. Like that,
Let's
like honestly,
let's not even give that any
no.
time or
No,
energy.
because it was gorgeous. That
Yeah.
scene was gorgeous. And that has never been highlighted in an Olympic
Yeah.
ceremony before. Drag queens, fucking trans people, non-binary people slaying that bridge.
The fashion show on the bridge. I mean, it was incredible.
Yeah.
So yes, my favorite uh was Celine Dion. I'm not even a huge Celine Dion fan, but I
Uh-huh.
tell you, that was so emotional. I had tears in my eyes. I think that was the best she's ever sung. And
It was.
it's so dramatic, like being on in the Eiffel Tower and
It
like
raining,
looking out onto that view. And I mean, whoever, again,
singing that song.
whoever
It's
thought of
like
that.
to your point about it being an Olympic performance, it's also because of what she went through. Not
Yeah.
just the last 4 years, but really the stiff person syndrome dates back like 17 years. So
Mhm.
like this idea that if you watch the documentary and then watch the performance, it's why I still my body like is like gets chills and like my heart starts racing because all you think of is the scenes you saw in the documentary where she literally is like convulsing on a table seizing up. Like you can't even believe that's the same human. That
Yeah.
then, not more than 2 or 3 years later, like is giving the performance of her life. And you could tell there was nerves. Like she was like, is this going to happen? But you also could tell the moment when she just like grabs it and it's all there. And she returned with like, on the biggest stage in the world.
And my second favorite, of course, because she is my favorite, is Lady Gaga. I
And
mean,
she did
she was like
exactly
so Lady Gaga.
phenomenal job. It's just like the classic Lady Gaga that is just a chameleon. She can become quite literally anything she wants to. Like and she actually has a lot of I was reading one post she wrote about this performance and how connected she has felt to French culture. And she used to work at a club in the Lower East Side where she would do all these
Yeah.
like sort of French cabaret acts, and this was one of them. So to do this now on this stage with such reverence to French culture. I will say some people said, well, why didn't they have more actual French people doing these things? And my response to that is in today's world, our cultures are so mixed. Like we travel a lot and there's this I think this beautiful moment where other people got to honor French culture and like she did a fucking great job. Like
It's interesting because I was I was gonna just bring that up too. How what I really liked was it wasn't the French. I think the France has a rap, particularly Paris, of being very, snotty
yes.
and all about them, which is anyway, well, I was going to say something, but I won't because we have a lot of US people watching. But they didn't do that.
Yeah.
And for me, what they did, this is the Olympics. It's the best of the best. And they
Mhm.
picked the best of the best. Lady Gaga is the best of the best. Celine Dion is the best of the best. And to take it even further, when they were doing the torch, all of a sudden there's Rafael Nadal.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Serena Williams.
Serena Williams. And the two that actually lit it were French athletes. Anyway, yeah, so that's the opening ceremonies. I can't wait to see the closing
I
ceremonies.
know. I
Like,
wonder what they'll do. Will it
yeah.
be in a stadium? Will it be, but I like that the other moment I wanted to highlight from the opening was the singing of the national anthem on that roof with the dress that was a flag.
Mhm.
It was just the live vocals were phenomenal
In the rain.
in the fucking rain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, I stayed up late for that one.
Yeah. No, that was fabulous. So,
Yeah,
okay, well, you know what?
there it is.
Athletes go, and we have so much, like I said earlier, so much respect for them and the hard work. And yeah, I mean, people who, what's the little life lesson about that? Well, it's actually a big lesson.
Yeah.
Is, when you really are passionate about something and when you really work hard at something,
Hmm.
um, look at what you can achieve.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I'll add to that there's these things we reach for and strive for, like an Olympic gold medal. Like somebody's got to win it. And it's amazing who ends up winning it sometimes. Sometimes it's predicted and sometimes it's like the underdog. But I
Yeah.
think just getting to an international stage like the Olympics is in itself like worth the victory. Doesn't mean you shouldn't strive for the fucking gold, but I think like I'm always just so inspired, even watching like the like young kid from like Romania who like or the kids from Ukraine right now who are competing and have been training while they're still living through a war.
Yeah.
Like talk about inspiring. I mean it just inspires me to do what I want to do. Yeah,
Okay. We will uh we will do another episode
we will.
post Olympics,
Yeah.
so we can just do a little wrap up of it. How about closing ceremonies? Excuse me, blah blah blah.
Blah
So
blah blah.
we can end it. Uh but
You want
yeah,
to say anything about politics?
well, you know, this is scary. how is it that we can be so in sync, because no surprise, I was about to say we can end it or we can talk a little bit about politics. Like, come on.
Oh,
I mean, it's so exciting right now. I'm liking Kamala so more and more.
yep.
I think she would be the perfect president.
Hmm.
Um, but it's still going to be very close. And they just need to keep this momentum going, which I think they have it on their side because the next thing will be the vice presidential pick.
Yep.
And then they have their convention, which is gonna be like phenomenal.
It's gonna be wild. I want to go. Like I don't know how. I don't know if I will, but like this is one to go to if there was ever one to go to. It's like when Barack in
Yeah.
2008 had the
I
convention.
wouldn't mind going to. Where is it? Is it in
Chicago.
Oh, it's in Chicago, right? Right. Well, it's not too far from me, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
So I'm excited. I think there definitely this momentum is like gonna carry as long as you have famous people continually endorsing her, not just like go vote, like vote in November. No, I'm voting. It needs to be like verbal. I'm voting for Kamala. You better too, because like I mean, Trump just gets crazier and like we didn't even know it could get worse, but it's getting worse.
Well, it's getting worse because JD Vance is crazy. I mean, saying that people that don't have children, like the people who have children should have more votes.
Yeah,
I mean, it's becoming more and more with the Project 2025. It's becoming more and more Handmaid's Tale.
absolutely.
The last thing, and then next week we will see whose prediction
Ooh, yes.
correct. So you go first. Who do you think is going to be the VP pick? Okay, I'll
I
give you
think it's
first.
gonna be Mark.
Mark who?
Mark from Arizona.
Mark Kelly.
Kelly.
Okay. I don't.
But I would like it to be Pete
You don't. You
and
don't.
my
You don't
okay.
get that option. I mean, after this last week, it would. I like. He's really been out there, but I
I
just think it's
know.
too risky.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be Shapiro. I think it's going to be Shapiro. But who I really like is the Waltz guy, Tim
Okay.
Waltz. Oh
Tim?
my God, he is so funny,
Yeah.
and he's so like he's
He's
so
yeah, you're right. He is. He's so like down to earth. Like he's
yes,
just like
that's
your
the word.
uncle,
Yeah,
like he's like
yes.
and yet he's so practical in the way he talks about everything. It's just like, yo, they're being weird. Can we just talk about the fact that they're being literally
Yeah,
weirdos? Like
yeah.
this doesn't even make sense. The words like I love that real talk.
I think it's going to be Shapiro, but I think Waltz is the underdog.
You know what? I choose him. That's my choose. That's my pick.
Okay.
Because I mean that would be sort of the underdog in it because he's not as nationally known, but now he's becoming much more nationally known.
Yeah. You know what it comes down to, and they keep saying this. It's like any of those picks would be good.
Yes,
She just has to pick somebody that she's comfortable with. You know,
exactly. We
that's
need
one
a
of them.
Barack Biden chemistry.
Yeah.
What an episode. We talked about the Olympics, the opening ceremonies, Celine Dion, Lady Gaga, both iconic performances. I mean, the city hosting an opening ceremony like no other city has ever done it across the whole entire city of Paris. Like, yeah, very excited for the closing.
And I think it was the best opening ceremonies ever
Yep.
because it was so different and so
Hmm.
artistic and so
Hmm.
just beautifully done and all done in the rain.
Yeah.
So amazing. And we also talked about the athletes.
Yes.
And yeah, so you're gonna have to watch.
Hmm.
It's a fun episode. We have a fun little beginning
Hmm.
with our little star Justin. So you're gonna have to make sure you watch that. And of course, we had to throw in some politics stuff because, other than the Olympics, it's the biggest thing happening.
It's
So
nice to have a distraction from the politics, but it's still going on. We can't forget.
no, we can't go, Kamala, go.
Yes. Coconuts for Kamala.
All right, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Sounds good.
And what
Go
else?
Canada, go.
Yes. Go our lovely Canada.
And I do love some Americans too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, of course.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Said it all.
Okay. Well, have a lovely week.
Yeah.
Well, no, let me take that back because it's come out Friday.
Have a lovely weekend.
Have a lovely whatever.
Yeah.
And okay. I always look for that little piece at the end where I got to put 15, 20 seconds in.
Right. Right.
So give me something. Give me something. Give me something, Justin. You didn't. So just to say, as you will all see, yes, we started something amazing with Justin. But when Justin came on, well, no, that was a replacement for your usual.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
I
give
do love this ramble that you're giving us right now. In fact, I think that should be the ending.
no, no, you give us something. Give us something. Give us something, Justin, to end this.
I mean, go watch the Olympics, like, and go be inspired. I don't know. This is not how it works. It's not like an on-off switch.
I got him.
You got me.
I got him. All right. Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
everybody.
Love you.